for the first time in, I think, 4 years now, the Trump administration is making them take away end racism, which they had written in the end zone. And if you're a racist and you see end racism in the end zone, you're going to stop being a racist? But I think it's an asshole to nag us during a football game about something that doesn't change anything or any. If I'm not a racist and I see it, it doesn't matter. And if I am a racist, it's going to make me more of a racist. You wear Queers for Palestine t-shirts and masks 2 years after the pandemic ended. And you can't define woman, I mean person who menstruates. You're the teachers' union education party, and you've turned schools and colleges into a joke. What a shocker that the people who see everything through the lens of race and sex see their election loss as a result of racism and sexism. I don't know for a fact that Elon Musk is planning to grow a mustache just to troll the libs.
Bill Maher clearly isn't slowing down. In his latest episode, he went straight after the Democrats, calling out their hypocrisy, corruption, and political games. The moment he starts pushing back with their own arguments, the room gets uncomfortable. And this clip shows exactly why.
Let's get this straight. It's not me who's changed. It's the left, who is now made up of a small contingent who've gone mental and a large contingent who refuse to call them out for it. But I will. That's why I'm a hero at Fox these days. Which shows just how much liberals have their head up their ass, because if they really thought about it, they would have made me a hero on their media. But that can't happen in this ridiculous new era of mind-numbing partisanship, where if I keep it real about the nonsense in the Democratic Party, it makes me an instant hero to Republicans. The same thing happened in reverse to Darth Vader's daughter, Liz Cheney, who is now a hero to liberals simply because she recognizes Biden did not steal the last election. What a sad commentary on our politics, where simply acknowledging reality is now seen as a profile in courage. People sometimes say to me, you didn't used to make fun of the left as much. Yeah, because they didn't give me so much to work with.
And it is still crazy that people are arguing about whether the last election was stolen or not, while chaos is happening everywhere. But the real issue is not just the election. It is what happened after that. The Democrats changed completely, turning from a party that once stood for pride and progress into something bitter, angry, and completely disconnected from reality.
It's not my fault that the party of FDR and JFK is turning into the party of LOL and WTF. Members of Congress tweeting things like cancel rent, cancel mortgage, and no more policing or incarceration, declaring that capitalism is slavery, canceling Lincoln and Dr. Seuss, teaching children they're oppressors and math is racist, making Mr. Potato Head gender neutral, and now an emoji for pregnant men. Real. I'm not making it up. California just passed a law requiring large retailers to have a non-gendered toy section. A non-gendered toy section? Isn't Ken enough?
This is what the party has become. Bill Maher keeps calling out the obvious while Democrats focus on political games instead of working together for the country. They keep pushing more rules and regulations, but critics argue those same rules often hide the real problems underneath.
Under the previous administration, we would have inquiries. We would request information. We would want cabinet secretaries and assistant secretaries and deputy secretaries to come before committee. We would send letter after letter after letter and get no response. The Biden administration operated literally in the shadows. They would not tell you anything that was going on. At least Donald Trump puts it out in the litany of orders that come out that day. Here's what we're doing today. We're going into the Department of Justice. We are taking these attorneys and they are under supervisory review, or however they choose to phrase it. You knew nothing that was going on in Joe Biden's presidency. So if democracy truly dies in darkness, I would rather have an executive tell me what they're doing as opposed to hiding it from the American people.
Bill Maher is at least trying to offer a different perspective, while much of the left remains stuck in the same mindset. That may explain why so many celebrities and TV hosts reacted so strongly after Trump's election. Even people within their own camp can quickly be accused of racism, as journalist David Weigel experienced.
Missed it, the Washington Post recently got embroiled in a self-inflicted shitstorm when one of their best reporters, David Weigel, retweeted this joke. Every girl is bi. You just have to figure out if it's polar or sexual.
The backlash got so extreme that he was forced to apologize, and some even wanted him fired all over a post that was clearly meant as a joke.
The comedian who actually wrote the tweet called it a banal throwaway joke, which is exactly what it is. Throwaway, as in if you don't like it, throw it away. For eons, both sexes have made jokes about how the other is crazy, and no one but the perpetually offended thinks it means anything more than that the sexes get frustrated over how differently we each see the world. And yes, we relieve some of that frustration with humor and scene.
This is what frustrates me about the left. Almost every issue gets pulled back into the same arguments about racism, gender, and victimhood, even when the original conversation has nothing to do with them.
At the altar, all dressed up, almost to the part where they eat cake and do the electric slide. When Sarah broke the news to her man that she just couldn't go through with it, had he cheated on her? Abused her? Was he a folk-singing Irish vampire? No, it was because of Black Lives Matter. Because if there's one thing we know about the young liberal women of today, it's that they are very, very high in their standards about everything. And Ben, while no racist, had not done the work on this issue.
When I asked him about it, he was like, I guess I've never really thought too much about it.
And that's when Sarah realized she'd rather die alone.
Her next complaint was that he did not mention gay people, even though he made clear he had no issue with the community. This is the problem Maher keeps exposing. One joke or one missing talking point can suddenly be treated like a moral scandal.
How are we actually getting our kids to have a shot?
But you keep talking about kids. He also won because parents were a little fed up with parents coming in second in a who says what goes with my kids contest.
Right. But which Democrat is for that? I mean, I have kids. I mean, most Democrats believe that parents should have a say in their kids' education. These have been exaggerated.
Here in California, I think the governor here used the word snitch.
Yeah.
He didn't just shut him down. He exposed a major blind spot in the Democratic Party. Maher also argued that Gen Z is being influenced in ways many young people may not even recognize.
4 in 10 Gen Zers say the authors of the Constitution are best described as villains. Wow. In 1776, James Monroe was 18. Alexander Hamilton was 21 and James Madison 25. Joe Biden was only 30. America's founders, they were the Gen Z of their day. And when they were your age, they started a country. What the fuck have you done?
That's what I like about Bill Maher. He says what he thinks without backing down. And in the next clip, he takes aim at USAID and questions where all that money actually went.
Scene after scene, clip after clip of the child stars of their day being subjected to obviously inappropriate, highly sexualized degradation, and quite a few pickles going through glory holes. I was grossed out and I've gone camping with John Waters. 2014 CNN report discovered that at least 35 Disney employees had been arrested for sex crimes against children, and in 2021, Disney child star Allison Stoner confessed she only narrowly survived the toddler to train wreck pipeline. The next year, child star Cole Sprouse told the New York Times that young actresses at the Disney Channel were heavily sexualized from an early age. You know, Willie Sutton said he robbed banks because that's where the money is. And the reason we find pedophiles in the Boy Scouts and the Rectory and kids' TV is that's where the kids are. DeSantis wasn't wrong, but we're so tribal now. The left will overlook child fucking if the guy from the wrong party calls it out. Sure, Nickelodeon messed up Amanda Bynes, but the Mickey Mouse Club was where Britney Spears got her started, and she's perfectly fine. And get this, after Brian Peck, who was one of the lead creeps at Nickelodeon, served 16 months in prison for the molesting he did there, Disney hired him, naturally to work on a children's series. Oh, for pedophiles in Hollywood, it's a small world after all.
That's how things went off the rails. Liberals stood by as the problems grew, but now that Trump is trying to change course, they're outraged.
And when I see a 5-year-old tipping at a bar under a sign that says it's not going to lick itself, do I have to pretend that's cool in order to keep my liberal ID card? Sorry, I can't do that. If you want kids to be more tolerant, why not have handicapped people read them stories? Kids are more likely to encounter disabled people than drag queens in life. Geez, can't we just go back to the good old days when kids were read simple stories with simple morals like, if you're a lonely single man, just make a boy out of wood?
And for the woke Democrats who still refuse to get the message, this next part is for you. Listen carefully.
You wear Queers for Palestine t-shirts and masks 2 years after the pandemic ended. And you can't define woman, I mean person who menstruates. You're the teachers' union education party and you've turned schools and colleges into a joke. What a shocker that the people who see everything through the lens of race and sex see their election loss as a result of racism and sexism. Kamala spent 100 days telling voters, I know it feels like crime and illegal immigration are bad, but fuck your feelings. Look at this chart. Have you seen my "In this house we believe" lawn sign? See, it says right on it, we believe in science. Right, which is why you demanded no one even debate whether COVID could have escaped from the one lab in the one city where they were studying it. How far-fetched. Democrats have become like a royal family that, because of so much incest, has unfortunately had children who are retarded.
So the question is Maher actually moving conservative, or is he just telling Democrats what they need to fix?